Good morning, day 71 of Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here, back in the greenhouse. The topic today is angel bumpers. So I had lots of people traveling over this past weekend, whether it was by airplane or car. There was lots of movement and things going on that typically might create some worry, stress, or anxiety. So instead of worrying about people doing things or going new places or having experiences or in situations, I'm going to share with you another option. So it's called angel bumpers. And it's circling people with love as opposed to fear. And we've talked about this in the past, that everything in the energy world is either fear-based or love-based. So when things are going on that get your attention in a fear-based way, just pausing, taking a moment to be aware even that it's a fear-based reaction, and then having the option to flip it to the love-based space. So great example this weekend is I had some people flying from A to B, right? And so instead of being like totally worried, like make sure you let me know and do this, I still keep in touch with all these people. I ask them to let me know when they get to the airport, when they get to the gate, when they land at the first place, and then when they get on the new plane and land and take off and all of that. But I circle them with love and an angel bumper. And I tell them, angel bumpers on, angel bumpers around you. And people actually love that feeling and knowing that. And well, even sometimes I don't know when people are traveling and they'll text me and like, hey, traveling, angel bumper, please. Send them, wrapping the plane, wrapping all planes with angel bumpers. And it doesn't just have to be plane travel. I remember years back when my kids got their driver's license, and you know, when kids first get their driver's license, you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Be safe, be careful, don't answer your phone, don't. That's actually not helpful. That tenses people up. So instead, I would say, see you soon, or, you know, wherever they were going. But I would say, angel bumpers on you. And they were like, Mom, don't do that. But eventually, they would ask for that. And they would be comfortable with knowing that they were in a safe space, surrounded with love. So I share this tool with you because I know you all have people you worry about or situations you worry about. And instead of circling people with fear, or worry or anxiety, to wrap them in an angel bubble. And that's merely encircling them with white light or whatever color light, or calling upon angels. Or if you want more of an explanation, get in touch and I will share more. So enjoy your day. Angel bumpers all around. Namaste. Good morning. Day 72 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here in the greenhouse. The topic today is focus. So I'm going to share with you a quote first, and then we're going to talk a little bit about this. This quote says, "Do not hold yourself back because someone else is not moving forward." And the quote is from Christine Hassler. I follow her on Instagram. She's an inspirational motivator. I'm sharing this with you because I want you to bring your attention to where you're putting your focus. We're brought up in this society to always check out other people's feelings, what other people want to do, where other people are headed, and then see what we want to do. So I want you to just pay attention, or I invite you to pay attention to your thoughts and to people's names that you say in your head to check. Like, I'm checking on my children. Are they okay before I do this? I'm checking on my husband. I'm checking on my wife. I'm checking on my friend. Now, I don't mean checking like, hey, how you doing, like that. I mean, before I decide how I'm going to do things, I'm going to make sure they're okay with what I want to do. So I'm bringing your awareness back to you, to your heart, to your soul, to your mission, to your purpose. Checking in with you will help you move forward in a clearer, more decisive way for how you want to live your life. So when we are in relationship, whether it's a business partner, a living partner, children, friends, yes, we care. We want to know what's going on, how they're doing, how they're thinking, but we don't want to live our lives in accordance to other people's needs, because then we're not fulfilling our sole purpose here and what we need to do and what the planet, what the universe, the multiverse needs us to do, because we each play a key part. So think about how you look to others before you move forward, and maybe flipping that to coming to your own heart space and pausing and seeing what you want to do and asking yourself those questions. Am I doing it because this other person thinks it's better, because it's easier, because it's what I've always done? Or am I doing it because it serves me and it serves them? Come back to center, just pause and see where your focus is. It changes the whole game. Hope you have a great day. Namaste. Good morning. Day 73 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here in the greenhouse. The topic today is eggshells. Now, not what you think, not like if you're cracking an egg to make breakfast or to make pancakes or whatever. I'm talking about walking on eggshells in your house, in a relationship, in a situation, in a reoccurring place in your life. It's happened to all of us. We've all done it. Meaning we've all probably walked on eggshells, and maybe even people have walked on eggshells because of us. So this is something that is beyond uncomfortable. Sometimes we rewrite a text 7 million times before we send it, or we think about, if I do this, then this is going to happen, or I definitely can't do this because I'll empty the egg basket or whatever. Taking the time to pay attention and be aware of these connections. Eggshells stink. It is a sign that something else is going on. And what we're actually doing by walking on eggshells is walking around the issue, trying not to tip the apple cart, trying to keep things as peaceful as possible, but at what expense? And it's also avoiding the issue. Sometimes we don't even know the issue, not aware of it. So it's a great opportunity to pull it apart, tease it apart, figure out what's going on. Either talk with that person directly in a calm way, not an attacking way, but literally a calm, questioning, curious way. There are lots of options. Walking on eggshells never works, or not for long. It's pretty much like sweeping things under the rug, and eventually the bump under the rug gets so big that you're going to trip over it. So if you're in a relationship, if you're in a connection, whether it's home, work, friends, situations that are causing you to walk on eggshells, sit back, pause, journal, write it out, connect. I'm here if you want to talk about it. Make a session. There's lots of options, but don't keep walking on the eggshells. You're doing a disservice to yourself and the other person or situation as well. Hope that's helpful. Have a great day. Namaste. Good morning. Day 74 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here in the greenhouse. Today's topic is adjusting your energy. So we've talked a lot about that we're all made up of energy and everything is energy connecting to energy. Last week in my horse medicine lesson in Ipswich with Leah Goldman at Finca and Friends, which I highly recommend, we had an amazing session out in the field with her horse, Saint. And we were talking all about energy and energy dials within ourselves. And what force of energy do you come into contact with someone else or another being? Is it constant? Is your energy always the same? Or do you sometimes adjust your energy depending on your connection? So I'm going to show you this paper that she gave me. And you can see it's kind of wind, a cloud, blowing wind. Now you can either blow a little bit or you can blow someone over like in a tornado, right? And so when we are interacting with someone, sometimes we just automatically are on a certain level and we just go in full force because of what happened before the connection with this person or meeting with a bunch of people. So it's not always necessary to come in full force and blowing people over. And working with horses, which horses are incredibly sensitive to energy, you have to pay a lot of attention to how you're focusing your energy and where you're focusing your energy. So it was a beautiful lesson and kind of awareness in paying attention when you're interacting with someone else. Can the energy be a little lighter and get the same results or even sometimes better results? So think about that when you're talking with certain people or you're sharing in groups. What's the energy? Are you speaking the same language? Because if we're not speaking the same language, we never get our point across and we never get to share, we never get to learn, and we never get to have the interaction that we're hoping for. So pay attention, focus in. You have the ability to adjust your energy. So focus on how you want to present and how you want to connect and play with that and see how that affects you and connections. I hope that's helpful. Have a great day. Namaste. Good morning. Day 75 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here in the attic. Today's topic is actually switched. I had another idea I wanted to do, but then I went for an early morning walk with one of my dogs this morning, and it is so foggy out. A new topic is coming today, and it is sight or eyesight. So we were walking this morning, a regular walk that I've walked for years, and as I'm looking out where the ocean would be, can't see the ocean at all. At all. In fact, if you didn't know the ocean was there between these two houses, you wouldn't even think, you just think grass and it just goes and it's foggy. And it just made me start thinking about how we so believe whatever it is we see. Now, if this was my first walk on this street, and you told me that there was an ocean behind those houses or a part of the sound, I would never have believed you because with my own eyes, I couldn't see it. And so how many times do we rely on one of our senses? Sight is a pretty huge sense. We see things, we automatically believe it and know it to be that way. What I'm posing to you or inviting you to do is to use all of your senses. Now we're told there are 5 senses: seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, and I always get the 5th one. There are 5, whatever. There are 6. So the 6th sense is your intuition. I want you to bring that in as well. It's really important not to go by one thing, one slice of the pie, to integrate all parts and from different angles and different perspectives and different times. And that's why it's important to not go off of one thing only, because it might not be accurate. Now, was it accurate that the fog was there? Yes. Did it block my vision of seeing the water? Yes. But it doesn't mean the water wasn't there. It is, and it was, and it will be. So just pause as you make observations, form opinions, have judgments, which hopefully we're all working on not having them. But just pause and know that maybe you're only seeing a little bit and not the full picture. I hope that brings pause to your life. Have a great day. Namaste. Good morning. Day 76 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here at the beach house. The topic is creativity in unexpected places. So basically creativity. Yesterday I picked my mom up and we went to this amazing place called Logan Steel in Meriden, Connecticut. My mom is a sculptor and has been doing sculpting for years with her high school friend and sculptor artist David Millen in North Haven, Connecticut. So check out his website as well. And we needed some steel pieces to work for bases. I'm also in the process of making some new things that I'm not ready to share about, but wanted some steel after talking with David on how to construct these. So we went there with masks, of course, and walked in, and my head started going bing, 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 bing. There were so many pieces. Now, all the steel that's at this company is used for construction, basically. But there are welders there. There are artists who get their pieces there as well. And as you walk in, there's all these pipes and shapes and nuts and screws and sheets and wild pieces, and cutout things, and just like I felt like a kid in a candy store. It was absolutely amazing. And my head's like thinking, ooh, you could solder this together, put this together, great plant stand, amazing mobile, hang this from a tree and then hang other things from it. And then I'm starting to think about crystals and words and collages and artwork and completely wild stuff. We find the things my mom wants, we find some of the things that I want, but of course I want to pick up all these things and they weigh tons. And when I tell you tons, you can't move some of these things. I'm like, okay, can't get that for the garden, can't get that for the garden, can't move it. But what I'm saying and sharing is we never know where creativity is going to flow in. And it's so important to connect to the creative juices you have within you and let it fly and just see idea-wise, creativity-wise, how it's all going to come together. So I now have all these potential possibilities. I talked with one of the men who worked there, and I think we're going to connect and get together and talk about more things coming forward and how to do that. And then he gave us, I have to stand up, I never do this, but I want to show you what my mom and I got. We got Logan Steel, and we are women of steel. So that was fun. And the ideas are still flowing. So connect into your creativity. It makes you alive. The passion comes flowing. The ideas are moving and creating and connecting, and just open to it. You never know where the creativity is going to flow. Have a great day. Namaste. Good morning. Day 77 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here in the attic. The topic today is ask, or asking. So I want to share with you, I've been sharing with you about my horse medicine lessons with Leah Goldman in Ipswich. And I had an amazing session last week. And so part of the session, one of the pearls of wisdom that was shared with me was Leah passed me a harness for the horse. And this was a harness made out of rope with some knots in different places. And she passed it to me and she said, here, put it on Saint. And I looked at her and I said, you know, I'm not a horse person. And she said, yep, I want you to do it yourself. So I was like, okay. So I took the harness over to Saint, and Saint is this beautiful, big, giant, strong horse. And I asked her, he's like more than 1,200 pounds. And I'm standing there, and I approach him the way that you approach horses to make sure it's okay. And I put my fist out, and he puts his nose there, and he gives me a little snorty sniff, and it's okay. And I tell him, I'm going to try to put this on you. I'm not really a horse person. And he's just stands there looking at me, big, beautiful eyes. And I put it over him, and I do turn around and say, does this go in his mouth? And she's like, no. So I try it this way, and I try it that way. And I look at her, is this right? No. So I'm like trying, turning, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what is this even used for? And probably about 10 minutes in, Leah says to me, can I interrupt you for a moment? And I turn around and I say, sure. And she says, you know, I'm standing right here. Are you going to ask me for help? And I look at her like, well, you said do it yourself. So to me, do it yourself means rely solely on your own resources. And I said, if you had said do it yourself, but I'm here if you have any questions, that would have been different to me. And she said, well, I'm here. You can ask me questions. And it was just kind of this big, oh my God, aha moment where I don't ask questions a lot. I will do it myself. I'll figure it out. I'll try to do this, try that. And I just thought, wow, ask more questions. So I said, you know, what I wish you had put it on him, and I could have watched, because I'm a really good observer and I learn more through watching. And so I took off the harness and handed it to her. She put it on Saint, took it off Saint, gave it to me. Less than a minute later, I had it on Saint, tightened it, and it was ready to go. So I share this because we often do things without asking for help, without thinking we can ask for help, but without even getting the permission. You don't always need permission. I was waiting for permission to ask for help. So, big aha moment for me, and I wanted to share that with you. Ask. If we can't get the help, we're right where we started from, and we can have different options for help. I know this one went over a little longer than normal, but I really wanted to share that with you. Have a great day. It's a hot, steamy one here at the beach. Enjoy wherever you are. Namaste. Good morning. Day 78 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here in the greenhouse. The topic today is balance, and balance in regard to giving and receiving. So I invite you to connect in and look at yourself and relationships that you have and see where you fall. Are you always the giver in a relationship? Are you always doing for others, always creating things for others, always setting other people up for things? And with these people, are you also receiving from them? So it's awesome, and it's a beautiful gift to be a giver. And at the same time, crucially important to receive. So I think before, many tidbits ago, we talked about the infinity sign, and it's basically the number 8 turned on its side, right? And so in the middle there is a balance. And it's important to have just as much giving as just as much receiving. Now, it's not always 50-50, and it's not always equal. At one time you may be giving more, and another time you may be receiving more. And I'm not saying keep track of every single unsy thing. But what I'm saying is pay attention to you and know that you get to receive just as much as you give in other ways. And it's crucially important to receive, and even receive from ourselves, to self-soothe, self-nourish, self-heal so that we can serve and shine our light as bright as we're meant to shine. So just start paying attention to those connections you have, especially those ones that you have all the time, because those can really drain you or they can really support you and help encourage you and help empower you. And those are the connections that really help you move forward on your path and grow. Now, oftentimes the draining connections are ones that we have to interact with. So you have room, you have the ability, you have options to shift those relationships, create new patterns. We talked a lot about patterns. Patterns are ingrained old habits, or ingrained old ways of interacting with people. And if sometimes patterns are great and they work for you, oftentimes they don't. Pay attention to all of this, and you have options. You can shift these by merely bringing your awareness there and putting it into action. I hope this is helpful. Have a great day. Namaste. Good morning. Day 79 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here in the greenhouse. The topic today is ownership or creation. Truthfully, I don't know what the topic is, but because this thing I'm going to share is lots of topics. I have this quote in my house. She designed a life she loved. And I guess I would change that, of course, to she created a life she loved. So lately, there are certain things that are happening that I am like, I don't want this to be a part of my life. I don't want to be involved in this kind of energy. And so I have to pause and I have to decide, how do I want this part of my life to look? How do I want this part of my life to feel? And take responsibility for changing it. Going with the flow works lots of times, but with awareness. Consciously going with what flow, and taking responsibility for your flow, for you, for what you're doing, what you're creating, what you're vibrating out, what you're expanding out in the world. So if there are things that don't vibe with you, pause and see if you can flip it, see if you can reframe it, see if you can change it, see if you need to step out of that lane completely and move into one that really helps you be you. If people have said things to you, whether they were when you were little or yesterday or last night or this morning, and it makes you contract, then peel it off and send it out. Put it in the garbage, throw it in the fire. Labels contract. We don't have to be what other people think and other people need. Communication with yourself, asking yourself, is this working? How am I going to shift this? What do I need to do so I don't continue the pattern? You have so many options. Don't get stuck. That's an option. If it works, awesome. Pausing is an option. Figuring out what all your options are. Meditating is an option. Talking with someone is an option. Journaling is an option. Shifting is an option. Letting go is an option. Moving, growing, listening, learning. There are so many options. Take responsibility for what you want and then move it forward. I hope that's helpful. Namaste. Have a great day. Good morning. Day 80 of Turtle Lane Tidbits. Sonny Mazer here in the greenhouse. A little earlier than typical. I can hear the owls and morning glories, morning doves hooting in the forest. The topic today is giving your power away, or rather not giving your power away, being aware of where you place your power. So often when I teach, I will share with people, I'm teaching you the basic. First, I teach you how I was taught. Then I teach you how I work and how I teach. And then what's most important to me is that you figure out how things work for you. These are tools. These are techniques. These are perceptions. These are ways of doing things. And that doesn't mean they work for you. It doesn't mean they're right. Don't give your power away to me, to anyone who you're working with, who is in a connection with you. You need to stay in your power and check on things at all times. Sometimes there are people who don't have the best intentions, right? So does that mean you can't learn from them? No, you can learn from them. But when people say you have to do it this way, otherwise it's my way, this is the way I'm teaching you, if you can't do this, then you need to leave. You need to pay attention to that. Yes, you can still learn from these people and take it and do it your way, but knowing if things resonate or not with you. And so that's just merely the process of checking in, maybe getting out of that situation, away from that energy, so you can connect with you and see if it resonates. We're here to walk our own path for our own journey. We do not want to jump lanes and get into someone else's path and someone else's journey. It doesn't resonate with us. It is crippling, in fact, and it doesn't work. So paying attention to what you integrate into you. And that goes for things, we talked a little bit about this the other day, things that other people say to you about you. Does it resonate? If it doesn't, don't allow it in. I think I just even read somewhere in one of the quotes, I'm always looking for quotes for my newsletter. When you ask people's opinion, when you're looking for other people's perspectives, look at how they live their life. Would you want to live the life the way they do? So even be careful who you ask, because people often have skin in the game, and it's your life, it's your path. Stay centered and balanced on your energy. It's okay to hold hands with people, just be aware. Hope that's helpful. Namaste. Have a good day.